Hey everyone, this is the daily flash briefing. Today's inspiration from me, KiKi L'Italien, and it is June 5th, 2019. And today I'm thinking about the beauty of curiosity. And that is going to set us off for today's flash briefing. So here we go. Curiosity has been something that I have been sort of infatuated with since about 2013. Without going into too much detail, 2012 was probably the worst year of my life. And just a lot of things that were not working, things that were not in alignment in my life. And one of the great learnings and lessons and discoveries that I had coming out of that was that somewhere along the way, I had lost a lot of my curiosity. Now, people who know me today and who have followed me for a while now would not probably guess that because I am known for asking a lot of questions. But what I want to share with you today is that that was not just an organic kind of thing. That along the way, and who knows for how long before I made that discovery, I had just sort of learned to rely on my assumptions with fleeting shots of curiosity. And so I didn't do as much research as I do now. And I definitely had lost a lot of the childlike curiosity that I had from when I was younger. And I read this book that I picked up at a thrift store called How to Think Like Leonardo da Vinci: 7 Steps to Genius Every Day. I'd had this book for a while, and it's written by Michael J. Gelb, Gelb. I would suggest that all of you check it out. Anyone who's listening to this, check it out because it's just a wonderful book. And the very first chapter has to do with this element that, Leonardo da Vinci had in spades, and that is curiosity. And it talks about how to develop curiosity. And right now I'm actually, I have the book in front of me and I'm looking through it, and I filled out all of the little exercises and stuff to see how curious I was. And I discovered in doing that, it really revealed to me that that I wasn't at the time very curious. And so I began quite purposefully and intentionally developing my curiosity. And I did that in a few ways. One of the ways was, even if I assumed that I knew what I needed to know about a person whom I was just meeting, or even people I knew very well, family members, I was going to ask at least 3 questions and even go beyond that. So if I was at a networking reception and I met somebody, my rule was that I had to ask questions to find out more, right? And so it made it even awkward sometimes, because if I didn't ask enough questions, then I was kind of forcing it because it was my rule, right? And so I'm sure I seemed a little bit odd to some people, but I was working through developing this as a habit. This was something that I thought I needed to investigate. And I'm so glad I did, because it transformed my life. What ended up happening is I discovered I didn't have all the answers. My assumptions were often wrong. And also, even when they were right, there were a lot of times stories or surprising nuances, the flavor of life, right? That made everything so much more exciting. It made it fuller. It made it richer. And so I am passionate about the cultivation of curiosity and those rules that I set for myself. I'm a little bit more relaxed about it, but it's become such a habit that I do tend to ask a lot of questions. So from the book, there's this exercise that is called 100 questions. So what I'm going to do for you today, or ask you to do today, is ask you to, in a notebook, on a paper bag in the back of a notebook. Like, you don't have to make this a big deal. But this is the rule for this game, is you have to make a list of 100 questions that are important to you. And it might be, how can I save more money? Or how can I have more fun? Or how can I best connect to God? Or what is the meaning and purpose of my existence? Or how can I better connect to my children? Things like that, right? It can be it has to be something that you deem significant. Okay. That's your rule. And you need to do the entire list in one sitting and write as quickly as possible, not worrying about spelling, grammar, repeating the same question in different words. Just get it all out. Get 100. And when you've finished, read through your list and highlight some themes that emerge. That's your activity for today. I said that this is a daily poem that I'm sharing. Technically, I shared 2 poems the other day, so maybe that counts, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to share with you instead words that are like poetry, and they're from Leonardo da Vinci. Feathers shall raise men, even as they do birds, toward heaven. That is, by letters written with their quills. Very cool, right? Yes. And we know he studied birds and he drew them and he imagined flying machines. Feathers shall raise men, even as they do birds, toward heaven. That is, by letters written with their quills. So even words can elevate us. I hope you got something out of this. If you would like to pick up this book by Michael Gelb, it was written years ago, but you know what? Reading through it, this is timeless information. And there are other chapters. Once you get past curiosity, there are several other areas to develop. I love the subject of curiosity. If you do too, let me know, comment, share. And I hope you have a fabulous day. I will come back to you tomorrow with another flash briefing. Thanks for listening.